Today I'll be covering all of the changes happening going into Sett 8.5 that are currently up on the PBE. This includes traits and champions that are leaving, the traits and champs being added, and changes to current traits and champions continuing to the next set. Disclaimer, this information may change by the time they bring it into the live servers. If you find this information helpful, like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and supports me as an independent content creator. Now let's hop into the video. First, I'll be covering the traits and champions that will be leaving at the start of the next set. For traits, we'll be losing Civilian and Recon. These are all the champions we will be losing. I'll leave a list down in the description. Goodbye, sweet prince. Next, we have some new mechanics coming into play. When the champ you pick up from a carousel comes back to your board, the item pops off of them, preventing auto-combining items. I personally think this was a great quality of life change. Secondly, there are glitched carousels. These carousel variants can include having champions with 2 items, or the items being on an armory or glitch deck instead of a champion. The final mechanic change is they finally added a team planner into the client. Before starting your game, there's a new button allowing you to plan your team for the upcoming game. You can see what each unit's traits are and what champs synergize with them. Now what everyone's been waiting for, the juicy new traits and champions. For the new traits, we have Infinity Team, Quick Draw, Riftwalker, and Parallel. The Infinity Team opens a portal to an alternate timeline. At the start of combat, any Infinity Team unit placed on a portal summons an alternate version of themselves with different items. They get 1 for each augment you own. The level of the trait affects the health and damage of the alternate champion. Next is Quick Draw. After every 2 damaging projectiles, Quick Draw units fire a bonus ability projectile. The level of trait increases the bonus shot damage. The following trait is Riftwalker. Riftwalkers open a gap between dimensions and summon their ally Zac, who grows in power based on the star level of the Riftwalkers. Zac gains the last listed trait of the closest Riftwalker. Finally, we have Parallel, which is between Ezreal and his future self. Underground Ezreal learns from his older, more handsome self and joins him in future adventures. Underground Ezreal's spell becomes a blast that hits all enemies in a line. Ultimate Ezreal's spell summons 2 additional temporal duplicates. As we get into the new champions, make sure to leave a comment down below which one you're most excited for. For the 1-cost champs, we have Lucian and Pantheon. Lucian is an Infinity Team Quick Draw. He has a passive that makes his attacks deal bonus magic damage. His active fires 4 shots in his target direction, each shot dealing magic damage to the first target hit. Pantheon shares the Infinity Team trait, as well as Heart. For his ability, he leaps onto his target, dealing magic damage that scales off of magic resist, also stunning them for 1.5 seconds. He then grants himself a health shield for 4 seconds. There's a single 2-cost being added in this next set, Pike, as a Riftwalker hacker. For his ability, he stabs his current target for true damage. He then summons a Phantom at his current location, dashes behind the furthest enemy. After 1 second, the Phantom returns to Pike, stunning all enemies it passes through and dealing magic damage to them. For the 3-costs, we have Gnar, Morgana, Shin, and Vex. Gnar is a Gadgetean Prankster. His ability slashes around himself, dealing physical damage to the enemies hit. His current target takes more damage, and the ability critically strikes them. Next on the list, we have Morgana, who is a new threat unit. Her passive makes it so that when she deals damage to an enemy, she sunders and shreds for 4 seconds. Her active sends out a dark binding towards the 2 closest enemies, dealing magic damage and stunning them for 1.5 seconds. Shin is an Infinity Team, Defender, and Hacker. His active tethers himself to an ally who has done the most damage this round, and reduces all damage he takes for a few seconds, increasing the duration with each level. While the tether is active, his ally is invulnerable, and any damage they would take is redirected to Shin instead. Finally, there's Vex, who is a Riftwalker mascot. Her active launches a blast of gloom at her current target, dealing magic damage. Every 3rd cast, her gloom becomes unstoppable, passing through enemies and dealing magic damage to each enemy hit. The 4-costs include Aatrox, Garen, Jhin, Neeko, Twisted Fate, and Warwick. Aatrox is a threat unit, whose active sucks the soul out of nearby enemies, dealing magic damage, and gaining maximum health based off his max HP. It then unleashes his demonic form for the rest of combat, replacing his spell with the Darkened Blade. Garen is a Mecha Prime and Defender. His active brings his sword down on a nearby enemy, dealing physical damage to enemies within 2 hexes and stun them for the duration based off level. Jhin is a Riftwalker Renegade. His passive makes it so his attack speed is locked at 0.8, except for 3-star where it is 1. He converts 80% of his bonus attack speed into attack damage, and replaces every 4th attack with an ability cast. His active fires a bullet towards the lowest health enemy, dealing physical damage to all enemies in a line, increased based on the missing health. The bullet damage is reduced by 43% each time an enemy is hit. Neeko is a Star Guardian Spellslinger. For her active, she throws out a Frog Familiar at her target. It hops to the nearest enemy 3 times, dealing magic damage to enemies in an area. The last hop is empowered, dealing magic damage to enemies in a large area instead. Twisted Fate is an Infinity Team, Duelist, and Spellslinger. His active draws 6 cards, 12 for a 3-star, and begins drawing another card after every auto attack. After 2.5 seconds, Twisted Fate throws all of his drawn cards, dealing magic damage. The final card thrown is a red card that deals magic damage to nearby enemies. Warwick is an admin Laser Corps brawler. He has a passive that grants him Omnivamp. Upon his first takedown, he enters Kill Mode 2.0, granting himself 60% attack speed and causing him to leap to new targets for the rest of combat. His active attacks his target 6 times, dealing physical damage. If the target dies, he gains 10 mana for each remaining slash. As for the 5 cost, there was only one that was added, Ultimate Ezreal. And yes, there are 2 Ezreals in this set for those of you wondering. The 5 cost Ultimate Ezreal is an Infinity Team Parallel Sure Shot. His active shatters the time stream, calling in 5 temporal duplicates of himself, 25 for the 3-star, that each fire a blast of energy towards the largest group of enemies. Enemies hit by a blast take physical damage. Next, we'll quickly go over champion adjustments. Ashe lost Recon trait and gained Sure Shot. The 2-cost Ezreal lost Recon and gained Quick Draw and Parallel. Sivir lost Civilian and gained Infinity Team. Kaisa lost Recon and gained Quick Draw. Vayne lost Recon is down to 2 traits. Misfortune gained Quick Draw, making her a 3-trait champion. Similarly, Viego gained Heart, making him a 3-trait champion as well. As for the trait adjustments, Ox Force now gives bonus resistances rather than attack speed. With Laser Corps, the 5 and 6 trait now give everyone on your team a drone. Hacker 3 and 4 give Omnivamp to the Rider as well. And Sure Shot has trait intervals for 2, 3, 4, and 5 now. Our final section will cover the new Tacticians coming to the TFT arena. One I know will grab a lot of attention is the new Chibi Zed and Chibi Project Zed. We also have Scuttle, Noctero, Shork, new Rangos, the new Mythic Ultra Threat Whisker, and the Battle Pass Tactician Super Evil Sprite and Nemesis Nimblefoot. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this video helpful and good luck in the arena.